What's up, guys? It's Railroader Cabal here in Command & Conquer Red Alert 2 web browser by Chrono Divide, doing a 1 versus 1 video commentary, and we're going to be on the map Heck Freezes Over. Nice, beautiful gems here. In the left side of the map here, playing as the Cyan allies from France, we got NHBB, and the top the top right, playing as the Russian Soviets, we have NashArcher. So this is a replay that somebody sent to me, and hopefully it's going to be good. So both these players, they started off with just one construction yard and no units. So this is probably an official map. And it looks like the Cyan allies here, NHBB, playing as the French ally, so that the France players have access to Grand Cannons, which are pretty damn cool and pretty heavy defensive in my opinion. And then the Russians have Tesla tanks, so NashArcher is going to be able to go in and be able to do a lot of damage to build tanks. He did build a sentry turret just to take care of that dog there from NH, and hopefully he did a little bit of scouting. He does know that he's playing against the Soviets, but he probably doesn't know what faction he's going to be playing as. So the problem here is, we see that NH did scout or the bottom half of the map here, and he's going to be able to see that he's going to go for some harvesters. NashArcher, I don't know if he saw. Oh, he does have a Husky here, so he did probably see inside the base of NH. He's going to go for some Grizzly battle tanks here, and that's pretty much all you can build here. Double refinery here with 3 chrono miners here for NH, and he's doing a pretty good job here, just getting up a lot of economy. He did mine a little bit of those gems here. So the gems in this game actually look like NashArcher has access to a lot more gems than NH here, which is a little bit of a on the uneven side here. But this map here is really crazy. And now NH has access to 4 Grizzly battle tanks here, going through the center half of the map, and just going to do a little bit more scouting, see if they can find anything else here. He does spot this massive gem pile, and I can tell you right now that this is going to be pretty much the center of attention for both these players. Obviously, more so for NH, because he can just send some chrono miners to the gems, and then he can just chrono back to base, and then he's instantly get the gems inside his refineries. Whereas NashArcher has to do a lot of mining here, but he does spot these Grizzly battle tanks, and those runner heavy tanks do a lot more damage, even though they're slower. Chasing those Grizzly battle tanks away, he even spots the 2 sentry turrets here, which he is keeping them up. So it looks like he probably just there just to keep him up here, but he did manage to sell one of his ore refineries because I don't think he needs any anymore. He probably should keep 2 refineries at least, because then those miners will not be able to just stack up on each other and hopefully not glitch out there. But now we see the MCV from NH is on the move here, and he's probably going to go, I can guarantee he's going to go to the center half of the map where there's a lot of gems here, and NH is going to be able to bring up a lot more. No, he's actually just building up another MCV, putting more harvesters on this field here, which is pretty good. There's 2 fields here of ore, so that's going to be inducing his economy here. He even base script to the top half of the map here where there's a lot more gems. So he's doing pretty good. He does have a command center here as well to give him a little bit of radar. That's going to be good too. He's also going for a lot more Grizzly battle tank production. Does he have double war factory? No, he does not. He's on single war factory. What are you doing, NashArcher? You are going for more Rhino heavy tanks. He has quite a bit of them up the top of the map here, so he's going to be able to do a lot of damage and hopefully catch NH off guard here. He's going to be coming in, and hopefully he can spot one of the Grizzly battle tanks here. Obviously, NH knows about this, and he's probably going to lose one of his refineries here. Maybe not. No, he does spot those Grizzly battle tanks, and he will be able to save all his Rhino heavy tanks. That's pretty damn good. But NH was the massive player. He was able to save his refinery. Should probably hopefully get that up and start repairing that as soon as possible. Down here, we see that one of the Grand Canyons is being placed up on the ridge here, which is great. For NH, he's able to defend off his base. He probably should do a lot more. He probably should build a lot more Grand Cannons just in case. NashArcher splits up his tanks and spreads them out and does a bunch of putting product attacks here. But more refineries are building out by NashArcher. He's getting a lot of economy going. He's going to have to expand eventually, and I think he will need to, because the longer it takes for those harvesters to get to those refineries is a long time lost, because that's just going to give NHBB a lot more time to build up a lot more Grizzly battle tanks, and probably if he's up to it, he can probably get some prism tanks. But I think he's just intent on getting as much economy as he possibly can, which is critical in this game because you don't want to run out of ore. I guess he's just intent on just gathering up and just building up a lot more Grizzly Battle Tanks. He should probably go for another War Factory, same as NashArcher, because the more War Factories you have, the better production. But now NashArcher gets packs up his MCV and is able to go down to the south here. Probably right to here, because this is the next major pile here of ore, and that's probably what's going to be happening, unless he's going to go for the gem pile, which actually nobody touches the gem pile, which is quite interesting, because the gems are doubling your income. And another refinery has been placed on here by NH. Lots of Grizzly Battle Tanks here, but a lot more Rhino Heavy Tanks from NashArcher. So, both this game is going to be a lot based on tanks, and it could get boring at times, but, as a commentator, it's your job to make this game as interesting as possible with your voice. But I guess both these players are just intent on building more and more tanks here. And then another selling off of that refinery here. And another refinery is being built up here. Nice location of the construction yard, I must say. It's a nice defendable position. It's going to be pretty hard for NH to get into the base and destroy that construction yard. Another suggestion I would probably say for these two players here is that if they're going to go and expand with their construction yards, they should probably intent on building up maybe a service depot or a repair facility, because then they're able, if they're lose their MCV, then they are able to build up another MCV from the war factory. But both these players are just intent on building one refinery each, or war factory, excuse me, and a lot of refineries here, and another Grand Cannon. So yeah, this is going to definitely be the defensive game here. Oh, and a base creep down on the bottom here. That was very, very smart there by NH. Now he's able to just base creep all the way to this gem pile, and that is very, very good here. So not a lot of attack here, not a lot of action going on the center of the half of the map here for both these players. But like I said before, NH is doing his best. He's going to be base creeping with his power plants. And you know what? A lot of power plants is better than building barracks, because then that isn't intent on, if you drop low power, then your Grand Cannons aren't useful. But the more Grand Cannons that NH builds is going to be a lot more trouble for NashArcher to go in and do a lot of attacking here. But these Grand Cannons are going to be a lot of problems, and they look at those Grand Cannons go. They just hopefully intended. But this is a lot of Rhino Heavy Tanks. And the more Rhino Heavy Tanks NashArcher builds, the better. I'm surprised he's not going to go for some Tesla tanks. But although Tesla tanks in this game are not supposed to be very powerful, they're supposed to be do against infantry. And finally, we have another war factory here from NH. So that's going to be pretty good. He's able to double his production of the Grizzly Battle Tanks. And this is going to do a lot of... this is going to be pretty good for NBH. He's also able to build a lot more harvesters on this gem pile here, which is going to increase his economy exponentially and hopefully do a lot of damage to Archer. But NashArcher has a lot of heavy tanks of his own here. I think he's just intent on just going with that. He does have another war factory here, so he's doubling the production of his own heavy tanks. But the fact of the matter is that NB or NH has control of this gem field here, and this is going to be big problems for him. NashArcher, he's just staying there. He's not really doing anything, just preventing NH and just going inside his base here. But he's going to have to make a move here eventually. But at the same time, even if he does, he's going to be facing off against Grand Cannons and a lot of Grizzly Battle Tanks here. So it'll be pretty interesting to see how NashArcher deals with this. But, oh, wow, those Grand Cannons are able to reach those Rhino Heavy Tanks. And that is bad news, because now NashArcher has to deal with his Grand Cannons, and he just can't go in the base and just destroy them, because then his Rhino Heavy Tanks are being destroyed. And then NH, what he can do now is he can just base creep all across the map, and it's going to be pretty bad. Oh, we see their final confrontation here. These Grand Cannons are just doing a lot of damage. Those Rhino Heavy Tanks, that looks like those Grand Cannons do a lot of damage to those Rhino Heavy Tanks, and that's a big problem here for NashArcher, because there's no such thing as upgrades in this game here. There's only buildings. So you see a pillbox here. That's probably from the beginning of the game here. But now we see the backside of the enemy base here from NashArcher, just doing a lot of damage to the power plants here. And I'm not sure if this is going to be enough to put NB up a lot of power, but there's Grizzly Battle Tanks, basically all Rhino Heavy Tanks with more Grand Cannons, and this is going to be a pure massacre. I'm not sure if here's winning. There's a lot of lag coming out here. I'm not sure what the hell that lag was about, but NashArcher is losing a lot of his Rhino Heavy Tanks, and this is just insanity. Those Grizzly Battle Tanks and Grand Cannons did a lot of damage, and now NashArcher's forces is diminished significantly. He should probably evacuate those Rhino Heavy Tanks back to base, because he doesn't have a lot of production. He does have triple War Factory, which is great, But at the same time, though, NH does have control of this gem pile, and I wish I could see the economy for both these players to see who's see how many economy both these players have. But I can safely say though that NH does have the most better advantage here because he has Grizzly battle tanks, a lot of them, and he has triple Grand Cannons as well as triple War Factories. So he's tripling the production of his Grizzly battle tanks, and that's pretty good. He should probably get his Grizzly battle tanks off this field here so that these Chrono Miners are able to harvest all of the gems. But now they're still there. The heavy tanks are still there. The Rhino tanks are still there. But he does have another division here of Rhino tanks, and it's like I don't know what to say though, because I think that NashArcher is screwed here. He's pretty much screwed. He should have attacked early on in the game, but who's to say though that he was up against these Grizzly battle tanks, which more Grand Cannons are being placed, and then they're just firing on those heavy tanks. So it looks like I think it's probably I think it's 3 shots from a Grand Cannon to destroy a Rhino tank. But at the same time, though, the splash damage is quite big. So if you think about it, this force here, I don't even think NashArcher is even paying attention to his force. He's losing Rhino heavy tanks left and right, and if he's not careful, he's going to be losing some miners here. So it'll be pretty interesting. 7 or 8 Rhino heavy tanks are being destroyed. The splash damage from those Grand Cannons are just insane. They're just insane. Not looking good, and NashArcher doesn't even have a radar center, so he can't tell that his forces are under attack, and all that NH has to do is just sit there with Grand Cannons and is able to destroy all of these not the Grizzly battle tanks, but the Rhino heavy tanks. Bang! That's it. Dead, dead, dead. Oh no! Like, he shouldn't be building money on these sentry turrets. He should be building more money on I think he should have upgraded. There's a lot of economy on this map and it's huge. So what he probably should have done, like NashArcher, he should have teched up to a battle lab or something, and then able to just destroy NH with just Tesla tanks, Rhino tanks, and Apocalypse tanks, because Apocalypse tanks can take a beating from these Grand Cannons, and then NashArcher would have been able to take out the power because these Grizzly battle tanks are useless against a Rhino tank one-on-one, and I'm not sure what's going on here, but the lag is pretty insane. I'm not sure what was that all about, but so sorry about that. I don't think it was me because my recording settings are quite good, 30 FPS. So yeah, that was probably a little bit lag in game. I think that's probably what it is, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be GG for NashArcher. I'm not sure how we can come back from this. There's going to be corner miners all across the map, just gathering up I almost said Tiberium there, gathering up all the ore, and it's just the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 War Factories. And I think both these players are probably chatting in game because nothing's happening from NashArcher, and I think this will probably be GG for him. He's probably going to be exited the game. Yeah, there we go. NashArcher has left the game, so that is GG for NHBB. So there's no such thing as stats in this game, unfortunately. So I can't go through the stats. So yeah. So there's your game on Heck Freezes Over between NHBB and NashArcher. Hope you guys enjoyed this game. My name's Cabal, and I will see you guys on next time.